Okay. While there was no indication on the total sum hitting behind the toilet, but many are pointing to the 2014 theft of cash and checks from Church's safe. Okay, from Joel Osteen's Church's safe. So now they're trying to put a certain situation that happened in the past related to this situation that's going on now. And it do sound very shady. Okay, so let's read further. Church officials confirmed the plumber's discovery. So this is true. While the total stolen in 2014 would total over $600,000 if this is the same bit. Now, they went on to say that much money was stolen from the church in 2014. They could not find it, didn't know what happened to it. And now in 2021, just last month, they said that they done found a whole lot of money. What a coincidence, huh? Let's read on. Recently, while repair work was being done at the Lake Church, a undisclosed amount of cash and checks were found. The Lakewood immediately notified the Houston Police Department and started an investigation. Well, you should. If you find a whole stack of money like that, something is going on. If you had to put it inside a wall, I would say they didn't want somebody to find it, okay? So, now it's time to relate, okay? So, let's rewind it back to the story of 2014. The 7-year-old theft case is still open with Houston police, and the money was turned in to a maintenance supervisor, okay? The caller to the radio station stirred up plenty of interest with the host George Lindsay, questioning the situation. Like, wow, is this true? Don't you want to know what happened? I mean, they stole the money, but they didn't get it out of the wall. So this is the plumber's suspicion. They stole this money, but they hid it in the wall. For some reason, they had to hide it in the wall, and they never did go back for it. Sounds about right to me. He said, it's like, why did you never go back? If he never had been doing that work behind the toilet, he would have never known that there was money there. So you had to actually be looking for this money in order for it to be discovered. Wow, I don't know. All I know, you guys, is $600,000. Yes, I could do some things with that. Can't y'all? Okay, so again, like I said before, some people were outraged about this situation. And I wanted to go online and find out what they were saying. Read some of the comments to you guys, okay? But before we do that, I wanted to know if Joel Osteen was even questioned about this, or did he use his superior sorority, pastorism, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'm just being funny now. But did he use his celebrity to get out of this situation? Like, hey, I'm a pastor, I ain't got nothing to do with that. And they just let him go. Or did they question him? This is what happened. Osteen has been questioned by the police over the discovery, along with past criticism of the evangelistic extreme wealth. I guess that means you're an evangelist, but you got all this nice stuff and you're supposed to be helping the people, but it looked like you helping yourself. That's what that means, okay? So, a 2020 revelation that Lakewood was awarded a $4.4 million federal loan for COVID relief, only helping to stoke compliments for other people. So that means that they were awarded, since there was an invasion, since there was a theft, the federal people decided, hey, we're going to reward you because you got a church. We're going to give you $4.4 million to, help build you back up. Woo! Now, this is getting suspicious, honey. with many pointing to Osteen's home and Ferrari. There's a lot of speculation going on. I would say so too. All of a sudden now you have he always had a nice home. Don't get it twisted. He always had a nice home. But now with some upgrades, and now you have a Ferrari? A Ferrari? Hey, do you, boo. Do you. But don't play with my money. Okay? An appearance on the the Today Show, would follow the Osteens urging views to avoid focusing on what have or didn't have happened. Okay, so I guess he had to go on a show to actually talk about it. He didn't want to, so I don't know the nature of that. But it's just crazy in itself, y'all. I mean, what y'all think about this? It says many questions remain over the money and its connection to the initial theft. The plumber will receive no reward money, though the statute of limitations on the theft has ended. So, this means that this plumber, he done turned in all this money, but he ain't getting no money out of it. I guess it's just out of the kindness of his heart. He wanted to be nice. Kudos to you, boo-boo, but if I wasn't saved, hallelujah. But anyway, it could have been a little different, you know what I'm saying? But for other people, I don't think they would have been that kind or they would have been that nice to give that money back. Or at least all of it back, because they're going to take some of it. I'm going to just be real. Y'all know y'all would. Come on. But the fact of the matter is, now there is a statute of limitations on the theft money from 2014. Okay? And they can't get their money back from that. That's quote unquote. That case is over. Hey, you didn't get nothing. You didn't get your money back. Sorry, we can't do nothing for you. Basically, is what they're saying. But he don't need it now. He got a federal loan. Okay? And then they were smart about it because I seriously think it was some funny business going on. Somebody done took that money, then done put it in that wall and said, this is what we gonna do. We're going to go and say somebody stole it, and we're going to get us some money from the federal government. And that's what I think. But, hey, I'm just merely one opinion. So let's go to the streets. Let's take it to the streets, what I call on the internet streets, all right? So here is the secret stash comments, all right? Fox McCloud stated, this guy, just like most all so-called preachers, are fake. They do the devil's work. They steal life savings of people and could care less. They are some devils. Woo! That's kind of harsh. Ugh. But that's what Fox said. Okay. Let's go to another comment. Political May. People donate money to the church and pastor. It's called an offering. They do not steal anything. Okay, Political May. She clapping back. She said, don't play with my pastor. Don't play with my pastor. All right, let's keep it moving. Omni states, because Joe Osteen is a thief, he would not let anyone in his church when that hurricane came. He is a prosperity preacher and is only in it for the money. Wow. Ooh, we almost forgot about that, didn't we? Remember back when they had that hurricane? You know, I think it's in Louisiana or, you know, wherever that was. And Joel Osteen could have let people come into his church. You know, it was flooded outside and everything. He refused. Now, this is a pastor who's all about helping people, doing God's work. God would have let those people in. But now that I'm thinking about it, like this person just said, you wouldn't let nobody in because there's a lot of people, right? You don't want them going to the bathroom and making a discovery. This is looking kind of suspicious. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying that he did. I'm not saying that he didn't. But I'm putting 2 and 2 together that equals 4. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on. All right, so Lewis Proctor said, they are all in it for the money. Tax invasion. Well, some are. There are some good pastors out there, though, you guys. And I hope to think that there are more coming. So get your life right. Get yourself together. Don't do it for money. Do it for the Lord, okay? Do it for yourself to make you a better person for going out there and preaching God's word, okay? Just for all those young viewers and elderly that are watching. All right, so let's go to, it's called Tell Me the Truth. I met him at work and he was a total disappointment. What a condemnment. Sending self-certified individual. He is a horrible person. God bless him. Wow. Ugh. So this person said they met him in person and they didn't like him. I always thought he was a nice person. I see him on TV. I did. I thought he was nice and I wanted to believe him. But I must say this is looking very suspicious. It is. Jeff Wood said, you should learn the English language grammar and you hypocrites read 10 commandments. Thou shalt not spread false rumors about thy neighbor. Whew. Okay, Jeff. Jeff said, I'm clapping back at that. Wow. I mean, he got a point. We shouldn't feed into that if we don't know the facts. However, there was a discovery. There was a news report about it. So therefore, it has came forth. He admitted that, yes, this was in his church. So it's not we're spreading rumors about him, Jeff. It's because it is national business now. Because if you're a church, people who go to your church specifically need to know where their money is going. Now, if it's his money, he can do whatever he wants with his money. But if they have given to that church, they have a right to know about what's going on within the church. Okay? So, yeah, that is not a rumor. You might can call him a horrible person or this and that. I don't know the man personally, so. But they want to know about their money. All right, so show me the proof. All right, that's their name. Show me the proof. Hey, conservative Christians, what you have to say about this? Still think donating your money to the church puts you on the higher list? Whoa. So they coming in on the Christians now. All right, let me suit up. Okay, let me suit up. Let me tell you something. What's your name? Proof. If I decide to give to a church, I am doing it out of the kindness of my heart, and my Lord Savior Jesus told me to. It doesn't matter what they decide to do with it after that. That is on them. They have to deal with that type of punishment, whatever God want to do. But I knew in my heart what I was giving it to them for. It's because God says so, and it's to help the church. Okay? However, I would want to know exactly where my money going to. But that's not, just because one person does something bad doesn't mean everybody in the world has to pay for it. I mean, let's get real for a moment. This is one pastor with a lot of speculation around his name right now. Okay, and I would not stop giving to the church just altogether or being nice to people because one bad apple doesn't spoil the bunch for me. If you're in a situation, you're around bad people, something happened to those people and you get in trouble too, that's called guilty by association. However, you don't have to be around those type of people. You can move about in your own way. So you got to learn how to juck and jive. You need to learn how to move. That's the same way with giving your money to churches. If you feel some type of way about giving your money to this certain church, simply don't do it. No, I don't believe that it's going to make you higher in heaven just because you did that. I think if God spoke to you to do that, then now you done put another mark or another check in his good book. So that's proof to me. All right, Shannon Harkness. I'll continue to tithe. I just don't tithe to a mega church. Okay, so basically what I was saying, she's picking where she's going to put her money at, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey. Okay, so Savannah says, just look at the devilish smile with those squint eyes. The devil's offspring. Just one of many, excuse me. So now she's going on how he looks. Hey, I can't talk about the man like that, you know. God made him how he made him. I don't think he actually looked bad, honestly. But looks can be deceiving. So, that's on you. All right. So, let's go on to Turtle Love. I've never been able to like this guy. He's just odd. Okay. Well, just because somebody's odd doesn't mean that that's a reason for you not to like them. They might have a quirkiness about themselves. They might like to stand alone. They might like to talk a lot, or they might like to just be quiet. You never know. You have to understand and learn a person before you judge them. Okay? Just because he's odd doesn't mean that he's actually odd, if you catch my drift. Okay? All right, so we're going to take one more from Lisa. She said, I'm so glad he was honest and returned it. God sees that. Okay, so that's a good note. We're going to leave on a good note with that. She's saying that the man who returned the money, she's happy that he did that because God will see that and reward him. Even though he didn't get a reward here on earth, God will give him a reward. So I believe that and receive that too for him. I pray that he gets a lot of money and he be blessed this holiday season on up into the new year and throughout. So kudos to you, whoever turned in the money. That's a positive thing to do. All right, so we're gonna move on to our second subject. Now, this one really touched home with me, you guys, because it's talking about our kids, okay? Our kids in school. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe that a principal would decide to do this. But they did. So the story is, in Austin, Texas, a high school removes bathroom doors due to safety concerns. No. First of all, you're going to remove all the bathroom stall doors because you're concerned about kids' safety. I mean, this can go either way. Y'all are parents. How y'all feel about this? You know, you want your child to be safe, but at the same time, you want them to have privacy. So, here's the story, you guys. The principal of a Texas high school decided to remove doors in order to get a grip on the drug use and other significant behavior in events that have already occurred this year, according to a report. So you're removing the stalls because kids doing drugs. Okay. Christina Steele Hangen, the principal at Austin ISD's Travis Early College High School, sent a letter to parents explaining her decision while admitting that she could have done a better job communicating her plans, according to CBS Austin. So this again is on the news, the story. I try to pick stories that are on the news. Maybe you overlooked or maybe just never came your way. All right. So she said in the letter obtained by the station that there have been behavior events and conduct violations, excuse my language, okay, that have occurred inside these restrooms, including about 90% of the drug offenses. Okay. She said there have been no incidents since taking down these doors. So, in her defense, she's doing it for a good reason, and there hasn't been any bad news to report after she did it with the students, because there's no privacy there, basically. Wow. Okay. And it says no stall can be viewed from the hallway outside, another said. Just because you can't see outside don't mean that we want people coming inside the bathroom to see the young kids doing their business. You know what I'm saying? They also have to use the bathroom. That's why they're there. This is just crazy. She did not immediately respond to the after hours email from Fox News. So even Fox News was trying to get some information from her, but at this point she's like, okay, I did what I did, I said what I said, and this is what I decided. So, whew. The school exhausted other methods in dealing with the safety issues. That's what they said. One strategy was locking bathroom doors that could not be monitored. But the report said process was taking up too much time. I think that made sense. You know, if you can't view this, or you don't have a camera by there, you can lock the door, say, hey, y'all can't go in here. You only can go in these bathrooms that can be monitored by teachers, that you can see from classrooms. That's what I mean. Okay. Here's what the principal had to say. My number one priority is safety, she said in the letter, according to the report. She said, removing the doors is one of many strategies we are planning and implementing to keep our campus safe and still a learning environment. Yeah, I think she could have handled that a lot better. That just couldn't be my child going to that school, because I would not allow my son or my daughter to be violated like that, to be able to, they got to keep their privacy, put it like that. Even at a younger age, there's a privacy statute with me. You know, I don't want to see your parts. You don't want everybody else to see your parts. Just because she's trying to keep the drugs out, it doesn't mean that you're going to not cause another problem. So that's where I am with it. So let's take it to the streets. Them internet streets. All right. So this comes from CDN Gal. I was a high school student in 1979, and I remember kids being expelled immediately for drug use. Our high school had just been built, and the principal conducted an assembly during our first week of the new school, telling kids they would be expelled and police would be involved if drug use. Okay. He was true to his word. There were very few incidents on school property. Kids pay attention when they are in serious consequences. If they don't, so be it. So that's what she said. Okay. So CK5 says, that was back when your parents raised you. Not school, not society, and there were consequences for being disrespectful to adults or others. This is true. You know, back in the day, they didn't play. Nowadays, a lot of parents are getting too lenient. This is not the time to let loose from your grip, what I call, on your kids. I'm sorry. You're going to have to talk to them even more, because as society goes on, and what I mean by that is years and years and years pass, the kids get older, they have kids, generations and generations. It's going to get worse because more drugs are going to be produced. More money is going to be made, and therefore people are going to want to make this money to get these drugs. People are going to steal to get these drugs. People are going to overdose on these drugs. Now, this is nothing new. They're already doing that, but it's going to get worse, okay? Each year, it gets worse. So we need to talk to our kids more often. Now that is coming from the streets of Miss Peaches, okay? Amos W, okay? That was normal back then before liberalism was invented. Okay? My school had no bathroom doors and teens will still vape. Now that's a big thing that's going on now, you guys, vaping. Okay? Get high and fight. What they say, fight it was even worse because kids would stand outside and keep watch for the teachers. Yeah, back then they would do that, and now they're probably trying to do that too. And what I also seen in this letter of comments is somebody also said whatever happened to a teachers union, or whatever happened to teachers coming together and having some kind of thing where they know, okay, a system, basically what I'm saying. Students shouldn't be allowed to be out in the hallways for a long period of time anyway, you guys. I mean, they should be in class learning. And for the teacher to be quick to put them out of their classroom and not care about whatever else is going on, that's disturbing to me. If anything, send them to ISS, okay, where they can be monitored. Even if they go to the bathroom, how about y'all start doing this? What I call bathroom buddies. Somebody from in the classroom, or you got a teacher's helper or whatever it is, go down there to the bathroom with them. How about that? We don't think about stuff like that. But that's where our mind process should be at all times. How can we help our children? And I'm speaking specifically to the teachers right now. You're there to teach. You're there to help. Let's find ways to do so instead of discarding the kids or deciding to take away from their privacy. Hey, you don't want your privacy stripped from you. So don't do it to our kids. The moderate said, it all starts with the parents. That's right. As a former school counselor, I've watched expectations from home decrease every year. It's now up to the schools to basically raise the kids. Wow. In a lot of places, because parents either don't want to or don't know how to. Woo! You hit a nerve there with some of them people, Mr. Moderate. But it's the truth. He just spoke the truth. Some of y'all that had kids, y'all don't know what to do with them. You know what I'm saying? You're too young yourself, so you're a child raising a child, basically. And I don't want to fault you for your mistake. Things happen, and you have to raise your child. You might be young, but you have to raise your child, and you do the best you can. But the thing is, you make them become better than what you were. Okay? You know that you shouldn't have been doing some things. So instill it in your child to not do those same things, not to repeat this generational curse. You get what I'm saying? Just because your mama was 15 and had a baby, don't mean you have to be 15 and have a baby. Now, no disrespect to anybody, because trust me, I have people in my family that don't went through that. I know people. I'm not saying I'm dissing y'all. No, I'm saying if it happened to you, why don't you be harder on your kids so that don't happen to them? That's my message to you guys. Let's work together. If you need help, say that you need help. Okay? But these teachers, no way, no how, should still take away from the kids' privacy. I'm just not for that. So it says, let's go to Eyes of the Eagle. Maybe schools need to stop the students and get back to discipline and teaching fundamentals. Who exactly ties the hands of the schools? The teachers' unions. So I guess they're saying, hey, who makes these decisions for the teachers and stuff like that? They need to get them together and rally them up and see what they're going to do about the situation, and, see if they even care, basically. I agree. Like I said before, teachers, Y'all need to be more involved. Let's see. So Drill Boss says, when my oldest son was a teenager, he would slam the door to his room when having an occasional hissy fit. First of all, let me stop you there. I'm sorry, ain't no little boy of mine gonna have no hissy fit, okay? You probably need to reword that when you go back and you check your comments if you happen to see this video, boo-boo. Ain't no boy supposed to be having no hissy fit. But when he had a tantrum, whatever you want to call it, okay. Over some rule or behavior modification exercise. I took his door off and told him when he came to me with a promise to stop doing that, he could get it back. It took him a couple of months to come around, but he did, and the door slamming stopped. Wow. So this lady is saying that she took off her child's door. Oh my gosh. I don't think I could do that because I ain't trying to pay nobody no money. Okay? We got to think of better ways to, respond and stuff like that. But if it's a house that you paid for with your own money and you don't owe nobody no mortgage and it ain't renting and all that stuff, you do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to discipline your child. If that's taking off the dough, you take off that dough. But I ain't gonna do that. All right, so last but not least, we got one more. LaBass. When I went to high school in the 80s, there were no doors on the stalls. I never once saw anyone drop a log in those days. What? So, excuse me, we had to end with a little humor. Basically, they're talking about never seen nobody use the bathroom. Everybody's kind of too scared. But, nowadays, back in the day, same thing. Nobody wanted to go to the bathroom like that. They were too scared that somebody's going to hear them and listen to them and stuff like that. So they just, did the usual urination or whatever. So, but anyway, regardless of all that, I believe that we need to keep these doors on because especially young women that are growing up, these young teenage girls, what we have to go through in our, what do you call that, puberty stage and things like that. That's just very embarrassing to have to expose themselves like that. So I am against it. Just to let you know, I am against it. But what are you guys' thoughts? Always, as usual, you can always leave your comments down below. If you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the heart button. Hit the thumbs up. Whatever programming this is on right now. So I just wanted to tell you guys what's the rundown for the episodes yet to come. Each Friday, I'm going to have a laid out episode